Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Colleagues, I offer my no vote explanation to the pistols and preschools legislation under debate today. I have a pop quiz for everybody. I'm going to read you a quote. We can all guess on who gave it. Laws forbidding the carrying of firearms in sensitive places, such as schools and government buildings, and that restrict the right to carry any weapon whatsoever, in any manner whatsoever, and for whatever purpose, are still valid and enforceable. Now, I'm sure you're guessing that some gun-grabbing liberal or some activist judge gave that quote. It's actually a quote from Justice Scalia, found in the District of Columbia versus Heller, a majority opinion. See, colleagues, I support the Second Amendment. But just like Justice Scalia, I know that there are reasonable restrictions, like no pistols in preschools. That does not mean we're violating the Constitution. This bill has nothing to do at all with the Constitution. And if you don't believe me, believe the late Justice Scalia. But I want to speak to you today not just as a senator. I want to speak to you as a father. I have 4 beautiful children. I thank God every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to bed that I get to spend another day with them. One of the hardest parts of my day, and of any parent, is when you drop them off at school, because we worry. As a parent, we all worry. We worry about them being prepared to succeed in life, whether they'll be bullied on the playground, and about their grades. But we should not have to worry about them being a victim of gun violence. Parents should feel assured that when we drop our kids off at school, we will pick them up in the car lane and not in a body bag. But the grim reality is that we do have to worry. And we have to worry even more if Senate Bill 584 passes. The Columbine shooting was a wake-up call. It was one of the worst school shootings in U.S. history. But now it doesn't even crack the top 10. Then came Sandy Hook, and people thought maybe our government would finally do something. Instead, every time our nation lives through yet another record-breaking tragedy, lawmakers run and hide behind the NRA and the gun lobby. As a result, things continue to get worse. The top 5 deadliest mass shootings have all occurred within the last decade. Top 5. You know what else happened in the last decade? A loosening of gun laws across the country, similar to this bill. In a multi-year study published by Visions, the Journal of Applied Research for the Association of Florida Colleges, they compared on and off campus crime statistics from states that allow the carrying of concealed handguns on campus versus those that do not. What they found was that the implementation of laws like these, where concealed handguns were permitted on campuses, those campuses saw an increase in violent crimes and an increase in forcible sexual assaults. We are protecting no one with this bill, quite the opposite. And if you don't believe in those common sense arguments, if that moral argument does not move you, let's talk about the fiscal impact of this bill. In states where they have laws like these, the liability insurance at college campuses, the liability insurance in our schools has skyrocketed. We already voted no on an amendment that would have covered those costs. Who pays? The taxpayer pays. Now, I recognize that facts have taken a back seat in our national conversation about this issue, and that policy decisions are no longer based on science. So if I can't convince you with the common sense argument, and I can't convince you with the fiscal one, and if I can't convince you that pistols at preschools are just wrong, look up. The people are watching. They're in your districts, they're in your offices, they're right here in this chamber's gallery. Last night's election results alone should give you pause. Save your own hide, vote no on this legislation If you don't, we're taking this state back for the people of Michigan in 2018. Thank you, and I ask that my remarks be printed in the Journal.